Hey YouTube, I know this is kind of an unconventional video. I'm going to be driving, and I just really wanted to get something out that I felt, and just wanted to get it while it's fresh. So this video is going to be about depersonalization and in its relation to anxiety and depression. Now, I've made a lot of progress over the last probably year and a half. I've been suffering from this for several years in total, including the panic disorder, probably 8 years, but really in retrospect, my whole life I had a undiagnosed depression and anxiety. So anyway, I'm doing things now that I never thought I would do, and so there's some good news and some bad news to this video. And the things that I never thought I would be able to do is just to be able to go shopping and not feel anxiety, not to feel like I'm sort of on this spaceship. And sorry for the low light. Like I said, I'm driving right now. It looks pretty creepy, actually. So anyway, I went shopping this weekend for Black Friday, and usually I walk into a store, I feel very overwhelmed. Everything sort of seems threatening. In general, I feel very low energy, distant, foggy, to a point where it's scary. And I remember when this first happened, this all sort of started when, ironically, I quit drinking alcohol in an attempt to start to clean up my life. I lost that escape mechanism that I had, which was the only time I could feel really normal and in the moment was drinking. So 250 days sober, I felt like I just I disappeared, and I started suffering with what I later found out was depersonalization disorder, which is just a extreme case of anxiety, in my opinion. And so from that point, I was lost. I didn't know what to do. I was very scared, and I reference this a lot in my videos. The book At Last to Life really puts a lot of this into perspective, and does a really good job. So I went online and found all these supplements. This guy was like, oh, you need to buy this, 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 and this. It was like 100 things, probably like 20 things. I ordered all of them when I got paid and started on this route of supplementation, and didn't feel any better. And it wasn't until I realized that the problem was I felt weird, so I was scared about feeling weird. And this whole weirdness started after some severe panic attacks, in which was when I reached tolerance with the Xanax. So I had a choice to either go higher on the Xanax and stay on it, or try to come off of it and suffer the consequences. I chose the tough route of coming off the medication, and so anyway, I just wanted to find peace, and I never thought I would. I would lay there in bed and feel so distant. I didn't even know how I moved. I didn't know how I walked around. I'd get to work or something, and didn't even know really how I got there. And a large part of it was I was just stuck inside my own fear all the time, worried about fear, worried about worrying, and worried about the feeling weird and the depersonalization, which is very difficult to not worry about that. And I don't know how much you've watched of my videos, but I also suffer from some other chronic health conditions which are largely anxiety-based, tension-based. I've dealt with astronomical amounts of physical pain for years, to the point of attempted suicide, and the fear of that coming back, the fear of some childhood trauma, the fear of everything, and the fear of panic, the fear of depression, the fear of feeling weird, it took on a life of its own, and I was just stuck inside that. I mean, and I know what you're going through. It is absolutely the worst feeling in the world. I mean, it really is. There's no way to describe it. It's pure hell. And but okay, so the good news, The good news is that I've been experiencing things that I never thought possible. I've been laughing for the first time. I can play video games again. I can watch movies again without being on my phone or having panic attacks and enjoy them. I can get into the storyline of movies. I can go to the store. I can drive without feeling extreme anxiety. Don't get me wrong, I still have levels of anxiety, and there's certain degrees to all this, you know, and there's layers, and as you peel back the layers and you get better, you sort of forget, at least for me anyway, the healing's so gradual that you sort of it's like, oh, well, I still feel weird, but then all of a sudden you start to feel attached. The detachment starts to go away, you start to feel attached, and it isn't until you have a relapse of symptoms that you realize how far you've come, which then you can take comfort in knowing that at least you can get back there. So that takes on a life of its own in a positive way, and it helps you kind of weather the storm. It helps you to feel comforted knowing that you can get out of it. I never had that. I never had windows or breaks or any of these things that people talk about. I knew I wouldn't. I knew that my brain was destroyed from all the alcohol and the Xanax and the years of stress. And it's not. I mean, it's not. There are people that overcome car wrecks where their brains... I had a friend, he literally went through his windshield and slid like 200 yards in a head-on collision on a highway, and he literally remembers trying to put brains back in his head. Okay, this guy's one of the happiest people I know, and now he's full recovery. Our brains have an amazing capacity for healing, and a lot of times we stand in the way, and we are doing things that are making things worse. So for me, faith in God has a lot to do with me feeling well. And I was never a Christian. I was never into that. I studied some philosophy in college, I felt like I was too smart to believe in God, and sort of fairy tale, Santa Claus kind of feeling. But I said, why not give it a try? I've got some Christian friends that seem very happy. And as I started talking to God and I started trying to learn this whole idea of letting go, man, it was working. Believe it or not, I started to feel this weight shifting, and I started to feel, like I said, this connectedness. And my wife noticed it, and people noticed it around me, and I'm actually enjoying things again. But the reason I'm making this video now is because I've really slid back. I slid back over a period of a few weeks of extreme stress that I kind of bring on myself, and I'm not doing the meditation and the yoga and all the good things that I need to be doing. And plus, I've been eating poorly over the holidays. I made some mistakes and ate pizza twice. So I've had a lot of gluten and dairy exposure. So I've limited my exercise a bit. So a combination of all these things has really led to a relapse of symptoms, and I felt it important for me to come back and make a video, not only for myself, but for other people to know it gets better. It really gets better. And there's no timeline of when you're going to get better, or even though it feels like we're serving a prison sentence inside our own minds, you have the power to get out of it. There's some great books, and I know it sounds crazy because I always thought books were a waste of time, and that it just would take medication and supplements and nutrition, and that stuff wasn't working for me as much as I wanted it to. But honestly, it was the books and the audiobooks that were really the culmination of my healing, and in conjunction with lifestyle change. I mean, it all works together holistically, synergistically to get you better. And Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, and then there's, like I said, At Last a Life, and then there's another book by Daniel Carnegie, a timeless classic, one of the best self-help books ever created called How to Stop Worrying. And these books, The Depression Cure, when you start to listen to it and you hear from some of the world's leading experts and theologians and things that, and you do that in conjunction with faith and letting go exercises and mindfulness, it sounds like a lot. Yes, it is. It's not pure just take this and feel better. If you really want to have lasting change, lasting success, you have to find the energy to sort of push through some of the uncomfortable things. It's very uncomfortable. I don't want to go run. I don't want to go do anything. But you have to find that energy, pour it out, and create the ripple effect that's going to ultimately heal you. And you will get better. And don't forget the bad times. Appreciate the good times and don't take the worst for granted. Because the worst times are learning experiences. And you're going to look back and say, wow, he was right. So go on and just take a little comfort in knowing that you are going to get better. Anyway, I'm at home, going to go eat some Chipotle and try to rest a little bit because I've had a stressful few days, and next video I'll have a little bit more lighting. I hope that you could hear me all right, and God bless you guys, and I wish you luck and healing.